Hey, what's up, guys? Little man with a big opinion here. So, in front of you is a very simplified version of my 2021 prepping plan. 10 steps. For most people, it could be a very generic guide for you yourself getting into prepping. I'll explain why I've put different things in different categories, and let's just get into the video. Like, share, subscribe, comment, do all that kind of stuff. And now let's get a breakdown. So I will occasionally refer to my whiteboard that I have set up. You don't always need to see it. That first 30 seconds, you can pause, take a look at the 10 things I had on the list. I'm graduating college this May, so if you're not a college student, maybe some of these you could move up, switch stuff, different things around. But this is my 2021 prepping goals. Number 1, I had on the list. Number 10, it says dollar store. I want to find 10 $1 items, whether it's from Dollar General, Dollar Tree, some generic dollar store. Some of them are different, whether in the US, Canada, or Washington from somewhere else. You most likely have like a bargain store of some sort. I want to find 10 items that I can consecutively, I feel like I need to add more preps. I go spend $10. I've, got my urge of adding more to the preps because a lot of preppers, they get burnt out. You put away 6 months worth of food and you look at it and you're like, wow, I just spent X amount of dollars, and you might hit a prepping plateau. So some of the things that I picked up from the dollar store in the past is this candle lighter. Picked up 72 baby wipes. I picked up this smaller bottle of, it's 70% isopropyl alcohol. So just 10 generic items. I lean towards items that have a longer shelf life. So baby wipes, they're really not going to go bad unless they get dry. But even then, they can still be used to wipe your behind. That way, whether it's coming off of a big purchase of Mountain House, another gun, bug out property, you always have 10 go-to items. They could change. Maybe they're out of one item, so you go ahead and pick up something else. But being able to buy 10 items, it feels like a lot. Even after taxes, it's maybe $11 worth of stuff. And you're still putting stuff away. A lot of prepping is playing the gathering game, building up your insurance policy, and if nothing happens, it's just like your car insurance. Fingers crossed, I've paid car insurance for 5 or 6 years now. Haven't had an issue, but we pay car insurance, life insurance, those things for a reason. Finding 10 $1 items will help you out. So that's my goal. Find 10 items that are generic, go-to. I can always grab them, and it helps you out when you plateau as a prepper. Number 9 is skills. I want to become, up to a professional grade level in skills. Doesn't matter what it is. It could be retaking the first aid CPR course, pulling out my old, Boy Scout handbook and relearning knots. I can do lashings. I can do a clove hitch. I remember a timber hitch. Those are in a bow line. Those are the only ones that I remember. And I worked at a Boy Scout camp up until I was 20. So 3 years has gone by. Haven't used a bunch of knots. They're useful. Pull out a knot book. Make a fire using a stick and a bowstring. Just find 9 skills throughout the year. This isn't, hey, that's a good idea, I should go learn something. You go learn it, and bam, you finish it off in January. Whatever you learn at the end of the year, you should still be able to do it. Um, Again, drawing on my Boy Scout knowledge, you should use the EDGE method: educate, describe, guide, enable. So at the end of 2020, you've educated yourself, whether you're going to someone, watching a video on YouTube, reading it from a book. Maybe there's a demonstration, video demonstration. Guide kind of isn't involved if you're a lone person. And then enable, I see enable as you should be able to teach someone the skill that you learned. Now, I use the example of first aid. Unless you're certified to sign off on that card, you can't do it. But you should be able to teach someone else the 9 skills that you learned throughout the year. Number 8, I put MAG, not magazines. I'm talking about mutual assistance group. I'll break it down even further. I don't expect to add 8 people to my MAG. If it's giving someone a jar of peanut butter and a bag of rice and saying, hey, I'm looking out for you, and kind of opening the door to the idea of prepping. Maybe have them over for dinner, cook them dinner, and talk about it. Say, and now is the perfect time because we're still going through this pandemic. We've had 2 or 3 sessions of staple foods, toilet paper, stuff leaving the shelves, still at a pretty decent. I don't remember what the most recent unemployment level is, but it's still there. And so now is a good time to kind of nudge them in the direction, even if they don't get involved with you and your MAG, but they still start prepping. You've enabled someone else to start down the path of self-reliance, taking care of yourself and their family. And if someone's new to it and you've started them, introduced them to the idea, then they're probably going to ask you questions about it. It's just like taking any other class. If you're taking a math class and you're learning math from a person with a master's, they know it better than you. You're going to ask them questions about math. Same thing with prepping. You show them, hey, I go camping a lot. I pick up a bunch of Mountain House food, and it's got a 25-year shelf life. Your buddy goes out, picks up Mountain House food, and it says to boil water. Well, your buddy might ask you, well, if I don't have power to my stove, how are you boiling your stuff? And so you point them towards your fireplace, keeping wood. You point them towards, little camp stoves or Coleman. It's something that when you get people involved, they will see you as the expert in that field, most likely, and come to you. And eventually it could foster that relationship of, I have X dollars to spend and I'm a carpenter, and you have X dollars to spend and you're involved in plumbing or you do a different type of woodworking. So now it's, hey, my toilet stopped up. Can you come help me? And you get the barter system involved, and it's a long, chain of reactions that could happen from introducing someone to prepping all the way to the point of now that person is a ride or die for you. Number 7, I have wild plants. As I'm kind of thinking about more what to say for this, it's not just wild plants. I want to also, in my area, know the most likely game, the best caliber to hunt it, the best time. So right now, I live on the coast. Fishing's a big thing. I've got fishing gear. I used to go a lot with some of my other buddies in college. Most of them have graduated, so I don't fish as much anymore. But I know, at least, other than live bait, I know the lures that the fish like in the area. So that one's pretty much covered for me. I've rarely hunted down in South Texas, mostly in Central and North Texas. So maybe I want to figure out the best time to hunt duck, the best time for hog hunting, the best plants to eat, when they grow, what's poisonous and what's not. And so I plan on adding 7 different, hunter gathering food sources to my list of knowledge. So you can kind of see how this list is going. So number 6, TP. I plan on adding 6 months worth of toilet paper. That's not, toilet paper that we're using. That's, I buy the case, the packet of toilet paper that we're using now, and I pick up an extra one, put it on a shelf. I know my household goes through almost 2 rolls of toilet paper a month. And so, if you have a spreadsheet or a notebook or whatever, you can write it down. Now, that's just what I want to do. I could also count this as TP. They're good for, taking a military bath, wiping your behind, washing your hands. Some of these they have better cleaning chemicals than others, but you get the gist. I want to add an additional 6 months worth of TP. Put it away. Doesn't get used. I will add that I want to put it in some sort of totes. That way rodents don't make it into a nest. A lot of people think toilet paper is the big craze item that you have to have as a prepper. It's nice. A lot of my family's putting in bidets, but that's only useful until the electricity runs out, the water stops working. So having your backup item, it's my TP. I might throw in a couple of handkerchiefs into that equation, some hand towels that can get washed and reused, but that's an extreme level that I hope I don't have to get to. Last one on this list, number 5, it's kind of hard to see. I want to add 500 rounds of ammunition for all of my firearms. That one is probably going to take the entirety of the year because I buy way too many guns. Granted, I have 2 that having 500 rounds would be amazing. Probably not going to happen just because of how expensive the ammo is. So one of them is the 6.5 by 52 Carcano. I love the firearm to death. I bought the gun. Took me about 4 months to find a gun show that had the ammo. I've gone to that gun show 3 times and bought 1 box. One time I bought 2 boxes. So I have about 3.5 boxes for it. Most of the time I take it out. I let people shoot 2 rounds in my family. And so this one is mostly going to be, a wall display. It will have some ammo. Like I said, I'm sitting on 60 or 70 rounds. But those fringe, I'm a history major. I like firearms, so military surplus goes great. Now, for the Mosin, the M1 carbine, the Car 98, those kind of firearms, a lot easier to find the ammo. More people have them in the U.S. And so, military surplus wise, 500 rounds. For those ones I said, yeah, AR might add more, but 500 is a good base. 22, that's an okay amount. I'm sitting on like 3,500-ish rounds. And so I'm very limited on the training that I can do right now because I can't actively replace it. So it's also contingent on when it comes back to shelves. Historically, having a Democratic president, firearm sales and ammunition sales are much higher. And so tied in with the pandemic and the unrest, not getting into that conversation now. it might be harder to put away that amount of ammo, and that's why it's number 5 on the list and not number 10. So I've been conservative with the ammo that I have, and I think that is a solid number to hopefully be able to put away for the year. I mean, it might end up that I can put away 1,000 AR, but I just can't find 22 for the whole year. So it's up in the air for now. Number 4, I have food. I want to put away 4 months worth of food. The reason being is that's roughly 25% of the year. I know 3 months is 25, but 4 months sounds better in my head. So if you can put away, it's closer to 30%, 25 to 30% of a year's worth of food away in a year, I think you're doing good. I've made prepping videos on the 72-hour kit. I don't think I've made a 2-week, but the general milestones are, the 72-hour, 1 week, a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year. And then after you hit a year, that's, again, another spot where a lot of preppers plateau. A year sounds like a great spot. You feel like you've achieved a lot. And a lot of them don't push themselves past that point. And so giving myself the goal of 4 months worth of food, I know that each week or each month, if I put away about a week's worth of food, maybe a week and a half, then I'll hit that goal by the end of the year. Barring more, food shortages, more, limits on certain items that could take the whole year. It could be done in the first 6 months, and I might have to up that number. Always putting away more food is great. But you say 4 months for a year, sounds like a lot. Then you say two months worth of food in 6 months. Well, then you're looking at 8 weeks versus 6 months. I mean, that's not even, that's putting away about a week and a half's worth of food a month, which that sounds a lot more doable. And so food's important. I've passed the 1 year mark, and that's what I'm doing to, keep it coming, keep it going. I don't have a preference on what kind of food. I want some of it to be Mountain House meals. So whether that's spending $6-7 here or there, putting away a meal, that's getting another batch of Mylar bags, 5-gallon buckets, and staple foods. That's also a thing. And one of the skills that I might start doing is canning. And that's another option. Buying a home freeze dryer might be out of my realm. I don't know yet. But let's move on. Number 3, I have water. I want to add 3 sources of water that I know I can drink, and 3 ways of purifying that water. I'm going to step off camera real quick. I recently went camping for 3 days, used this guy, and I was very pleased with it. Actually still has a bit of water in it, actually. They say the water helps keep it lubed up because it works better when it's wet. So whether that's adding 3 of these, buying the Berkey system, building my own filtration system, that part's easier. The harder part is, I know where the closest lake to me is, and that's an hour and a half, so that's most definitely out of the equation. But figuring out streams, whether they're seasonal or not, whether it's only has water in it when it floods a lot. The one water source that I have found is a pond in a neighborhood that's like 4 blocks away, and it's just like they have a little park there and a pond. They let people go fishing, so it's a decent source of water. I still have to find 2 more, but find 3 water sources and have 3 different ways to purify it. These things will do 100,000 gallons. My only thing with this is when you use them, try to have some sort of way of documenting how many gallons you've put through it, because as far as I'm concerned, and this might be where I'm totally wrong and I don't know what I'm talking about, I don't think there's any way that this lets you know other than you get sick. If you have if you have something that works for you, leave it in the comment section down below. Number 2, kind of not involved in prepping, 2 sources of income. Right now, I work at Pizza Hut. Hopefully that'll change after I graduate. And I get $40-ish a month from stocks. So, not a huge secondary income source. I'm hoping by the end of this year, I'll hit the 1,000 subscribers. I'll get monetized, and I will consider that a second income source. Either that or something else works out great for me. Either way, got college loans to pay. I want to buy prepping stuff. I want to work on the other things involved in the channel. It's not just prepping that I make videos for. So the biggest win for me would be hit the 1,000 subscribers and the 4,000 watch hours. Last one on the list, number 1. I'll zoom in for you guys. 1, firearm. I want to buy another firearm. I might buy more than 1, but I want to at least get 1. I already know which one I want. Just depends on how much it is and do I have the money at the time. I want it to be an M1 Garand. I want to, after that, the major countries from World War II, I will have a firearm from all of them. That's an awesome goal. And after that, firearm-wise, I don't know what I want else. Obviously I'll come up with something. If you like guns, it never hurts to get more. And as long as you've got the funds, then as a prepper, it's always great to add another firearm. I mean, it's also great to add ammo and become proficient with that firearm. But a new toy every once in a while. So I'm saying 1 for the year. I think that's every once in a while. Can't pull a demolition ranch and buy like 7 in one auction or something like that. But 1 firearm for the year. And these 10 items, if I complete all of them, I'll say I had a successful year. The bonus round, number 0, I guess. No, 0 doesn't work out. I want to make sure I upload at least 2 videos a week. And so, like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know in the comment section with your likes, with your subscription, that I should keep doing this. I'm talking into a camera right now. I've got a handful of people that enjoy watching the videos because they've subscribed. But I want more people. And when I get more coming in, it inspires me to keep going. And I got nothing else for you, so I'll catch you in the next video.